In this Go Byte, we're going to have a look at something called named returned values, and that is where you can actually give your returned value a name as part of the signature. And so in your function, you'll automatically get a variable which is given that name, which you can assign values to. And all you need to do is just do a bare return, and it will return the named return values. So that's just a description using only words, and it might not mean a lot to you. So we need to get quickly into a demo here. So first of all, let's have some use cases. Returning multiple values without repeating them in a return statement. Functions where results are built gradually. That's probably one of the most common uses. Think of things like building up config over time, something like that. Improving clarity when the meaning of each result is important, and simplifying code that needs several early returns. Let's have a demo. Okay, so here I've created a function which is just going to square a number which is passed into it. So the signature here, the name of the function is square. We're going to pass a number into that, which will be an integer, and we're going to return an integer. And as you can see, all we're doing is multiplying it by itself, assigning it to a value called result, and returning that result. Now, with named returns, what we can do is, instead of declaring the variable inside here, what we can do is we can give the variable a name, or the returned value a name, I should say. So here the returned value is going to be called result, and that is going to be an integer. And so I don't need to declare it because we've already declared it when we declared it in the signature. And so here I can just change this to a simple assignment without declaring it, because this result is the same variable as this now. And then because we've created a named return value, then that is going to get returned. So I don't need to specifically say we are returning result. I can just say return, and it will return that result. Okay, let's go and try this out. So we're just going to print it out. As you can see, I've imported format. We're going to call square. We're going to pass in 5. So we should see a value of 25 here, which should be an integer. Go run main.go, and indeed we do get 25. Okay, let's have another one, and this one is going to return 2 named returned values. So this function is called divide. It's going to take 2 float 64s, which we've called A and B, and remember, if they're both of the same type, or you have consecutive parameters which are of the same type, you only need to say the type once after the last one. And this is going to return 2 values, or 2 named return values: a quotient, which is the result of a division, and a boolean, which will just be OK. And this will just signify that the division was possible. And so inside of here, what we're going to do, if b equals 0, i.e. we are attempting a division by 0, then what we want to do is we just want to return early. We're going to set OK to false to say that these values could not be divided by each other, and then we're going to say return. So when we do that, OK will have a value of false. Otherwise, if we are able to divide, we're just going to divide A by B. We will set the boolean OK to true, and we shall return. And so the quotient will have the value of A divided by B, and OK will have the value of true. Let's go and try this out. First of all, we'll go with happy path. So when we get 2 values back from a function, we can just grab those using commas as separators. And so here we're going to print out the quotient, and we're going to print out OK. So 10 divided by 2 should be 5. OK should evaluate to true because these are divisible. Let's go and run this. Go run main.go, and we get 5 and true. Okay, how about if we try to divide by 0? So this time I shall try to divide 10 by 0, which means we should only get as far as here. If b equals 0, we're going to set OK to false, and then we are going to return. Notice what value we get for quotient when we do this. Let's go and run it. What do you expect to see? And so as you can see, we just get the 0 value for the quotient, but for the OK boolean, we are seeing false. We weren't able to perform this division. Now I've attached some extra information to this lesson because I don't want it to be too long, but it's still quite important information. Here is quite a common use case, building up a result step by step. This is one of those things that you'll use named return values for quite a lot. So just have a look at this, look at how we build up this output variable over time and then just hit return. And then also, I've dropped something in here, just a note of caution, which just gives you a little bit of a warning about overusing named returned values and how they can make your code a little bit harder to read and a little bit less explicit. And so it's just telling you not to use them all the time for everything. So have a read of that stuff, but for now it's time for a challenge. Write a function called stats that accepts a slice of integers and uses named return values, total, which will be an integer, and count, which will be an integer. Calculate the sum of all numbers and the number of elements, and then just use a bare return, i.e. a return without a value, to return the named variables. Then call the function and print the results. So I'm pretty sure you can do this. Pause me now and give that a go. Here's that function. It's called stats. It takes a slice of integers, which I've given a parameter name of nums, and then we are returning two named return values, total, which will be an integer, and count, which will be an integer. And so as you can see in here, we're ranging over nums. We are incrementing or increasing the total by n each time, so whatever value that current integer is in nums, and then we are incrementing the count by 1 for each integer. So we'll know how many integers were in the slice, and we'll also know what they add up to or what they sum as for the total. And then we just need to go and try this out. So let's call the stats function, and we'll also initialize a slice while we're passing it in there. We're getting 3, 5, and 7. And so when they're summed, we should get a total of 15, and we should get a count of 3 because there are 3 integers in that slice. So I'm expecting to see total 15, count 3. Let's go and try this. Go run main.go, total 15, and a count of 3. Okay, how did you get on with that one? Hopefully you gave it a go and it's starting to give you a feel for named return values. Like we said in the note of caution, these can be quite useful for those use cases that we mentioned, but don't use them for everything because, like I say, they can make code a little less explicit, a little harder to read. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Give the video a like, make sure you're subscribed if you want YouTube to show you more Go Bytes, and I'll see you in the next one.